you know that San Antonio is ranked number 5 out of the entire country for the top new construction home markets? And it's honestly no surprise because there was actually 15,000 homes that sold here last year alone. So today I thought it would be really beneficial for y'all to give you the list and the rankings of the top 10 builders in the entire San Antonio area. And yes, that includes the builder who built this masterpiece right behind me. But it also includes a couple others that you may not have expected. We're gonna talk about each of these builders individually. I'll show you some of their model homes, and I'll also tell you exactly which one ends up being number 1 on the list, which is one I don't think you're really going to be expecting for being the top new construction home builder in the entire San Antonio area. But it is what it is. You're gonna be surprised about it. Now, the other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about some of my personal insights. As a real estate agent in San Antonio, I've worked with every single one of these builders, and I know a lot of dirty details about each of them. So we're gonna talk about some of those along the way. Now, trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss a single detail, so make sure you stick around all the way to the end. The first builder on our list is Century Communities. So Century Communities, it comes in at number 10. They had 444 homes sold in the last year here in the San Antonio area. They build kind of all over except for really on the north side. So where we're at right now is University Village. Pretty much built out, but it is a small little neighborhood right across from UTSA. Very unique in that there is not very many homes, very many new home builders in this area inside of Loop 1604. This is kind of like a condominium style development with these single family homes. Overall, their price point as a whole is $230,000 for those small 1,000 square foot homes, all the way up to $700,000. But there are only 4 homes that they are currently selling over $430,000. So the sweet spot is that $300,000 to $400,000 range for Century Communities. What I really love about them, as you can see by this home behind me, is the style. They kind of have that nice little craftsman style with, just beautiful fronts. They have big, tall ceilings when you get inside, very light and airy, kind of like a little farmhouse style almost. But overall, customer service is great. Build quality is really, really good. And when it comes to their top neighborhood, again, 444 homes sold last year. Their top neighborhood was Bear Creek Hills, and that one had 52 homes sold in the last year, and then also including some of the ones that are currently listed as well. That's out on the far west side. As you'll see throughout this video, a lot of these builders, and really just so you know, and as a whole San Antonio, that far west side is kind of the hub of the new construction. It is where the majority of these neighborhoods are going up. It is one of the reasons, that far west side is one of the reasons that San Antonio is ranked so high on the list of the top new home metropolitan areas in the entire country. And it starts with Century Communities at number 10. Number 9, we're back to where we started out in this video, and that is with Highland Homes. Highland Homes comes in at number 9 because they are not a big volume builder, they are a high quality builder. And another thing too that you'll notice is that they build a lot of almost custom homes. I mean, you can see this house behind me. It is not cookie cutter by any stretch of the imagination. They build a higher price home too. The lowest price home you can get, bare minimum, like 1,500 square foot house, is $340,000, and these go all the way up to like 1.1, 1.2 million in certain neighborhoods. They build on big lots, they build big houses, they build high quality houses with lots of customizable features. It's very much so a semi-custom builder in my opinion. Overall, they are just ahead of Century Communities that came in at number 10. They sold 446 homes this past year. And their top neighborhood was out on the west side of San Antonio, and that was Davis Ranch. Davis Ranch is a big neighborhood with a lot of different builders. They are it's a really nice neighborhood in my opinion. It's being really closer to Helotes, and we're actually going to be there for another one of these builders later on in this video. But they sold 53 homes in Davis Ranch last year, with prices basically starting in that low 400s going on up, right, to some of their higher priced homes, some of their more luxurious products. Now, as far as personal experiences go with Highland, I've personally owned a Highland home. Before we built the house that we're in now with our 4 acres and everything that we did, we ended up buying a Highland home over in Meyer Ranch. It was a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful home, smaller home for our family. It was a great spot though. One thing that I absolutely cannot talk enough about is Highland Homes customer service and the comfort that I felt buying that home. From the builder that we worked with to the sales reps and everything, they are an extremely high quality operation. And even the builder, this is just a completely random thing that I did not expect, but I had questions with another builder that I was working with a client on, and I was able to call the builder that we had with our Highland home just to get some different insights on what really should be done in the construction process with this specific issue that I had with this other builder. And he talked to me for probably 20 or 30 minutes about it. it and kind of explained what typically needs to be seen. So that is a huge, huge benefit of working with Highland Homes. Next up, number 8 is Roush Coleman Homes. Now, Roush Coleman Homes is definitely one of the most affordable builders in all of San Antonio. They had 688 homes that sold last year at a price range of $188,000 all the way up to $326,000. So you can see the vast majority of theirs are probably in that low 200s range. As you can see from this home behind me, it is a really nice home, actually. I mean, for the quality, in the size and the price point that they're at, it is really hard to beat. Now, they they're actually one of the few builders, so like, you know, the bigger name builders that we're going to talk about later, the top 2 don't do dirt build options, but Roush Coleman does. Now, I'm not saying that is going to change. I don't really know, but they were recently acquired by one of the big national builders that is going to be later on in our list, which we will talk about. So I don't know if that's going to change how they operate, but one of the things that I do love a lot about Roush Coleman is the fact that you can dirt build. You can do very affordable options such as, you know, laminate countertops, carpet everywhere, you know, lots of stuff, you know, lower 8-foot ceilings to get it in a more affordable home. And you can also customize it, make it higher end, you know, higher quality granite, better countertops, better cabinets, taller cabinets, higher ceilings inside. So you can do a lot of these customizable things at a much affordable price point than you can with a lot of these other builders. Their top neighborhood is this one that we're at right now. It's on the southeast side of San Antonio in the Converse area, called Randolph Crossing. Randolph Crossing because really close to Randolph Air Force Base. Great spot for military, especially if it's, you know, your first time, you know, military focus, your first station, and, you know, you want to get a really affordable house. It's really easy drive to get onto base. This is a really good option for that. In this neighborhood specifically, they had 85 homes sell in the last year at a price range of like $225,000 to $258,000. So again, as you can see, extremely good affordability and pretty good quality in my opinion, especially with the brick and everything else. Really, really nice facades overall. Definitely worth checking out for those of you looking for a really affordable option. Number 7 on our list is Meritage Homes. So Meritage Homes is a pretty big builder in this area. They've got neighborhoods kind of all over the place. Last year they sold 715 homes in the San Antonio area, ranging from $290,000 all the way up to $620,000. Most of their stuff is in that $350,000 to $450,000 range, and they have a really, really high quality home. You see kind of a lot of that, you know, 3 sides brick. They do a lot of better finishes, kind of on par with some of the higher end, like more luxury style builders that we're also going to talk about. But they are at a much more affordable price, and overall very good energy efficient home. They do dirt builds, so you can do all that stuff with them. Their top neighborhood is out here on the northwest side, very close to Helotes, called Sagebrook. This is a much newer neighborhood. They've got 112 homes that are currently for sale or sold in the last year. Price range is kind of right what I was talking about, $345,000 to about $550,000. And again, some very, very high quality, solid homes. Meritage is a really good builder. I've had a couple clients that have built with them. I've also sold a couple of clients' homes that they bought the home and then ended up selling them when they moved out of town, and held up very, very well. Overall, very good quality construction, lots of really nice finishes, and just, again, very, very solid builder in my experience. Number 6 on our list is Ashton Woods. Ashton Woods is very, very popular around the country. It is a very big builder here locally because there's 3 different brands that are associated with Ashton Woods. You have Starlight Homes, which is their much more affordable brand. You have Ashton Woods, and then you do have Princeton Classic Homes, but Princeton Classic is kind of being phased out into just the Ashton Woods brand itself. But Princeton Classic was in like neighborhoods like Meyer Ranch, for example. Overall, there was 813 homes that Ashton Woods sold in the last year in the San Antonio area. Average price range, because of Starlight being much lower, is $200,000 all the way up to $930,000. This neighborhood that we're in, this one right behind me, is Hendersby Hollow. This is their most popular neighborhood. It had 174 homes that sold and are active listings currently. Hendersby Hollow also includes both Starlight and Ashton Woods, so you have a pretty wide range of price points and types of homes that you can choose from here. Price range is like $250,000 to $420,000 here. When it comes to some of my favorite things personally about Ashton Woods, one of my favorite neighborhoods right now that's currently being built is Waldsanger up in New Braunfels, kind of between New Braunfels and Bulverde. I did a video on that not too long ago. Acreage community, stunning houses. When I mean like high quality houses, Ashton Woods is building a beautiful home out there. That model home is one of my favorites that I've ever been to. The sheer size of these homes and the grand entry, the big vaulted ceilings in there, they do a lot of really high-end custom finishes, and you can do that too with the Ashton Woods product in this neighborhood. So you can add a lot of different custom finishes. You'll see that as a theme, again, as we've already talked about, across this list, right? A lot of these builders, except for really the top two that have the most homes that have sold, a lot of these have you know, a ton of different options for customizing these homes. We're now halfway through our list. Number 5 is the outstanding Perry Homes. So Perry Homes is by far one of my favorite builders in the entire San Antonio area. Build an extremely high quality home. They sold 893 homes just last year, and at these price points with this quality, that is saying quite a bit. That is a big accomplishment for a more affordable market like San Antonio, as being noted for being the most affordable market in the Texas metro areas, right? Overall price range for Perry Homes is $325,000 all the way up to $1.4 million. That $1.4 million home is in their newest neighborhood, George's Ranch up in Bernie, which is literally brand spanking new, acreage lots, custom home builders. It is a heck of a community. It is really, really cool. Now, they're not located everywhere, right? So Perry Homes builds in basically every area of San Antonio, including a lot of the suburbs like Seguin and New Braunfels. They build up in Bernie, they build up in Bulverde, but they don't really have anything in that southeast corner or that like Converse Cibolo area yet. They've got a couple that are in Church, but closer into New Braunfels than really in Church proper. Now for today, for this neighborhood that's right behind us, this is Calliston Ranch. Calliston Ranch is mostly a strictly Perry home neighborhood. They do have Meritage homes here now, but the vast majority of this big neighborhood is all Perry homes. In the last year, there was 178 homes for sale and sold in this neighborhood, and you're looking at a price range of $379,000 all the way up to $877,000. Now, I've had a lot of personal experiences with Perry Homes. I've had a lot of clients that have contracted to build with them. I've had a lot of clients that have just bought their spec homes outright. Both instances, I've had really, really good experiences, and in a couple situations that I've dealt with here recently, actually, they've been builds or homes that have been under construction, and we've gotten a third-party inspection beforehand, which is highly recommended for every single build, even brand new finished homes. But in this situation, our inspector found an issue that needed to be addressed. It was going to cause long-term issues with this Perry home, and at first they kind of pushed back and didn't want to correct it. However, upon doing a lot of research, the builders got involved, the construction manager got involved. We reached out to the engineer for this product that was in question. We had to go up the chain to one of the higher level construction managers for Perry Homes. We talked to some of the sales managers. We got, again, the engineers involved for this particular product. And whenever we got the correct answer from the correct party that we needed, Perry Homes got that problem fixed. And we can talk about some of the specifics of exactly what that was, if y'all reach out, we can kind of have those conversations. But in this situation, what I want to highlight most importantly is that Perry Homes did what was right and corrected the problem for my clients. And that is something that, has happened in multiple situations with other builders. And that is one thing that I will say, guys, is that is very important. Whether you use me or whether you use somebody else, you need representation even with these brand new homes. When it comes to us, for me at the Life in San Antonio, Texas Home Group, my name is Michael McCall. Again, I'm a real estate agent here in the San Antonio area. I work with a ton of clients who are buying and building new construction homes in the San Antonio area. So if you have any questions whatsoever about what that process is like, if you already know what neighborhood you want to buy in, if it's one of these that we're talking about today, what builder you want to get, then reach out and we can talk about the pluses and minuses of each of those. We can talk in depth, 30 minutes to an hour conversation, and get these things taken care of for you guys. That is ultimately my goal as a, somebody with a construction background and an engineering degree. I love doing this new construction stuff, especially the builds from dirt. So if you, again, are considering that at all, reach out and we can talk about that ahead of time. And I would love to help you guys with your builds. So reach out. My information is down in the description below. Call, text, email me anytime, days, nights, or weekends. You can also submit that link at the website down below as well. Now that we are into the top 4, we are getting into some of the biggest national name brands that a lot of you are going to recognize. And the first on that list at number 4 is Pulte. So Pulte in the San Antonio area has 2 different brands. They have Pulte and then they have Syntex. So those 2 combined, they have sold 1,123 homes in the last year. Getting into the thousands now, so we are getting into some big time numbers. Price points, Syntex being a lower price point, Pulte being the higher price, more customizable product. Syntex is just spec homes, construction grade similar to some of the other ones that we're going to see later on into this list. But the price point that we're looking at is $225 up into like the 600s, and then some of those more custom homes are up into like that $700,000 price range, right? So overall, the top neighborhood for Pulte and Syntex is this neighborhood right behind us, Davis Ranch. So Davis Ranch is up on that northwest side, closest to Helotes. Far west side of San Antonio is a huge area for new construction. A lot of the neighborhoods we've already seen today, and a lot of the ones that we're going to see in the future, and the next few names on our list are out here on this far west side. This is definitely the hub of new construction for the San Antonio area, and Davis Ranch is definitely one of the most popular. There are multiple home builders in this neighborhood, including Highland, which was on our list already, and a few others that aren't even on our list, such as David Weekley and Coventry Homes. Both of those are awesome builders in and of themselves, but they didn't make our top 10 list here for what we're talking about today. As far as locations, they build pretty much everywhere, as you can imagine, but they do not have any neighborhoods currently up in that Bulverde Spring Branch area, or even that like northeast-ish area, kind of going up from Stone Oak all the way up north to that Bulverde Spring Branch. And they don't really have anything on the south side either. They've got them pretty much everywhere else, especially Syntex. Syntex is in a lot more places than Pulte. Pulte is kind of more isolated to some of the higher end neighborhoods like a Davis Ranch, like Corley Farms up in Bernie, which is a beautiful neighborhood. I've actually got somebody building in Corley Farms, and that kind of leads to my personal story about Pulte Homes. So got somebody building with Corley Farms right now. There have been some issues, I can tell you, especially whenever it comes to timing of everything. They've actually gone way faster than they said that they were going to as far as building the house. And there were some mix-ups with the design center versus what construction team was told and what my clients were told. So there are multiple situations that we've come across where some things that my clients picked out in the design center were incorrectly relayed to the construction team, or there was some miscommunication where it was told that it was one thing and then it was not, what my clients actually wanted. And then there's also things like options that were missed that weren't told that there were options in the design center. But ultimately what it came down to is that the construction team and the design center and the salespeople all kind of worked together, and we ended up getting that information overall. The big company like Pulte, it was just kind of going through the different channels to get these things to happen. And whenever there were issues with the house as it was already built, they corrected it, and they had some of the best construction teams that I've ever dealt with working on this, that were working with the sales reps, with their management, so that they got these issues corrected with no problems at all for my clients. And that is one big thing that I'll always remember about Pulte. Now, next one is number 3. Let's get to that one. Now we're in the big 3. You've probably heard of these 3. These are big national builders. Number 3 is KB Homes. In the San Antonio area last year, they sold 1,455 homes. Now there isn't a single neighborhood that is just blowing the whole entire rest of the market out of the water with KB Homes. They have a lot of smaller neighborhoods. In fact, the top builders or top neighbors that they have are the Preserve at Culebra and the Granary. They each had about 50 homes sell in the last year. Both of them are kind of their typical neighborhoods where you're looking at that like mid 200s on up price point. Overall price point for KB in the San Antonio market is $185,000 all the way up to $510,000. The biggest benefit about KB Homes, quite frankly, is that, especially compared to the top 3, is that you can build from dirt with this builder, and it is a very, very common practice thing. That's where a lot of their homes that they're selling are coming from. I've got a couple clients that are actually doing that with me right now. We're working on helping them build with KB Homes. They've worked with me from the contract to the close stage. I've done this with many other clients in the past. Probably done like 4 or 5 other clients that have built from dirt with KB Homes and gone through that entire process from selections to finding the right lot, finding the right floor plan, and then closing and doing all the inspections along the way. So it is a process that I'm very familiar with helping with you on that. If you got any questions about that, don't forget to reach out on that. Now, top 2, let's get after it. And finally, we get into our top 2. Number 2 is D.R. Horton. So D.R. Horton is by far one of my favorite builders in all of San Antonio, and they are huge, obviously. National builder, big time, one of the top 3 big builders in the entire country, and they have a big presence here in San Antonio. They sold over 2,960 homes in the last year. They currently have just neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood going up all around here, and the craziest part about them, we haven't mentioned this a whole lot, but as far as new home starts versus sales, they have sold way more homes, about 10% more, a little bit more than 10% more homes they've sold than they have actually started to build. So that is a big indication about how popular these homes are. that they are selling them faster than they can build them. When it comes to price range, you're looking at $187,000 to $515,000. Those 187s are the super low price, super affordable homes, around 1,000 square feet, probably don't have a garage, or they have a one-car garage if they do. The big ones, the 500,000+ ones, are the ones that they have on like the half-acre lots. There's a couple of those that they had up in Bulverde last year. They've already sold out of that section. They've also got some up in Fredericksburg too. So if you're looking for some of that, that's in a kind of close range of San Antonio, but Fredericksburg is a little ways off, of course. There are also some in this neighborhood specifically, because this neighborhood, Riverstone at West Point, is D.R. Horton's top selling neighborhood, and it's actually the top selling neighborhood in the entire city, the entire area of San Antonio. You're looking at well over 400 homes that have sold here in the last year, and they are continuing to build just nonstop, over and over and over and over again. They have crazy amenities. You can see this big tower, this big water slide tower behind us, and they are just knocking these houses out one after another. They actually have multiple amenity centers in this neighborhood too. Price point in this neighborhood is $236,000 to $457,000, and again, those 450 and up homes for D.R. Horton are usually the big monsters, 3,500+ square feet, some of them with 6 bedrooms, really crazy good houses. Now, one thing I will tell you personally, when it comes to affordable builders, especially with these top 2 that we're looking at, we will talk about number 1 here in just a second, but D.R. Horton is probably the single builder that I have sold the most homes with personally as a real estate agent. And that is because of the quality of their customer service, the quality of the build. Even though it is a lower priced average, builder grade home, the overall quality of it, from my experience with my clients, has been nothing short of spectacular, especially at this price point. I've sold many of these homes, always had a good experience. Haven't heard a single thing from any one of my clients about big negative problems that they've had long term, and especially the customer service. D.R. Horton is a great company to work with and deal with, and I will continue to recommend them to my clients for years and years to come. Now, without further ado, let's get to that number 1 builder, the top builder in all of San Antonio. And finally, we are at our number 1 top builder with the most home sales in all of San Antonio last year, and that is Lennar. They had 5,013 home sales just in the San Antonio area. That is 1/3 of the overall homes that have sold, the new homes that have sold in San Antonio in the last year. It's just an insane number, and there's a big reason for that. The price point for Lennar in the San Antonio community is $106,000 all the way up to $476,000. So as you can see from behind me, this is Flora Meadows. This is the neighborhood where they have those $106,000 homes. These are 1 bed, 2 bath, 600 square foot homes, and to each his own. This builder serves a purpose for affordability, especially in San Antonio. San Antonio is widely known as a very affordable hotspot for brand new homes and just living in general. I talk about it a lot in my videos on the extreme affordability and the affordable cost of living that San Antonio has, and this is a big part of it. If you want to own a home and it is your dream to own a home, and this is your desire to have a home that you can simply just afford and have an affordable payment, this is an option for you to look at. And they are across the board, have super affordable homes from 100,000 like this all the way up to like the low 200s is the most common price point that they have. In San Antonio, that $200,000 to $300,000 price point is the most common price point for new home construction, and Lennar makes up a large majority of that, in addition to a lot of the other builders that we have already talked about on the affordability side. Now, when it comes to their overall top neighborhood, that neighborhood is Navarro Ranch in Seguin. So Seguin is another extremely affordable option. Just south of New Braunfels, there are a lot of really affordable neighborhoods out there. There's a couple Lennar, a couple D.R. Horton, lots of Syntex, you got Chesmar, you've got Perry, you've got some Sitterly homes, you've got all kinds of different builders in Seguin. Navarro Ranch has 340 homes that have sold or currently listed by Lennar, and those price points in that neighborhood are $145,000 all the way up to $365,000 for their bigger 2,700 square foot homes. Again, Lennar does not make a big house. Their biggest home that they are selling anywhere is like 2,700 square foot, nothing over 3,000 square foot. They are focused in on those most affordable properties like the ones that we're at today. I've had a lot of people that have talked to me about Lennar. I've told them all of my personal feelings. I won't get into the exact specifics on that, but if you want some very specific detailed information on Lennar, you can give me a call. I'd love to talk with you about that and about your options whenever it comes to buying one of these homes. I will say, for a very affordable home, like I said, this is a great option. However, there are plenty of other options as well. One that I mentioned earlier was Roush Coleman. They actually acquired Roush Coleman. I did mention that. Lennar purchased Roush Coleman, so getting that kind of customizable feel, I don't know if they're going to keep that. You know, that one big benefit that I love about Roush Coleman, about how customizable they are, even though they are an extremely affordable product. That is something to look forward to and see if they're going to keep that as they move forward with their operations with Roush Coleman. And it's going to obviously make them have an even bigger impact on the San Antonio market as a whole, because Roush Coleman is one of the bigger ones in the San Antonio area as well. Now, when it comes to new builds, guys, like I've said, these are the top 10 new construction builders in all of San Antonio as far as total number of sales goes. This is a very large new construction market. There are numerous other builders outside of these that I would love to talk to you guys about, so do not hesitate to reach out anytime, days, nights, or weekends. Call, text, email. Information is down in that description, and would love to help you guys out with your new construction purchase. If you are interested in seeing more details about anything related to new construction homes in the San Antonio area, this is a playlist that you want to check out. It has all of my videos about and related to new construction homes, and it's a good one. Till the next one, guys. We'll see you there.